If you accidentally touch a hot pan, your hand yanks back in a fraction of a second. But if you place a potted plant on a windowsill, it might take 3 days to slowly bend its leaves toward the sunlight. Your hand doesn't have a brain of its own to decide to pull away, and those plant leaves don't have eyes to see the sun. So how does the organism actually know it needs to move? Living bodies operate an internal communication network. Different parts of the organism send and receive messages to figure out what is happening outside and how to react. Biologists call this process control and coordination. To survive, organisms have to use the right messaging tool for the specific situation. Sometimes they need a high-speed direct text message. Other times they need a slow, widespread chemical loudspeaker. When you need a fast, highly targeted action, the human body uses an electrical wiring network. We call this the nervous system. This diagram shows a nerve cell. When you touch something, a signal travels down this cell like an electrical zap. To cross the physical gap between cells, the zap converts into a tiny chemical burst, like handing off a baton. For everyday sensations, these signals travel up your spinal cord and into your brain, where you actively think about what you are feeling. But an absolute emergency, like touching a burning hot stove, requires a different path. This diagram shows a signal shortcut. The pain signal travels from the hand to the spine, which immediately bounces a command back to the arm muscles to pull away, skipping the trip to the brain entirely to save you from a burn. Your brain is saved for non-emergencies. The forebrain acts as the main command center. It handles active thinking, storing memories, and making voluntary choices like deciding to pick up a glass of water. Meanwhile, the lower area at the back, the hindbrain, quietly manages the complex background mechanics. It keeps you breathing and helps you maintain your balance while walking, all without you having to consciously focus on it. The nervous system provides an electrical network that handles instant, highly targeted actions. In situations where a split second is the difference between safety and severe injury, that speed is exactly what you need. A squirrel spotting a predator needs its entire body to prepare for a sprint at the exact same moment. To reach every cell simultaneously, animals use a second communication network. This system releases chemical messengers into the flowing bloodstream. When danger strikes, the squirrel releases adrenaline. As it circulates, it instructs the heart to beat faster and the lungs to expand. Other chemicals act as slow, long-term project managers. Insulin steadily regulates the amount of sugar in your blood after a meal. Growth chemicals carefully determine how tall you will get over several years. This chemical system trades the instant speed of an electrical nerve for reach. It has the power to coordinate massive, systemic changes across the entire body simultaneously. Plants face a unique biological challenge. They live in a changing environment and need to react to sunlight, gravity, and water. Yet they have no brain, no electrical nerves, and zero muscles. Plants manage immediate movement, like the touch-me-not plant. When touched, cells drain their internal water, instantly shrinking the leaves and causing them to fold inward. For slow directional growth, like turning toward a window, plants rely on a chemical postal service. These directional growth movements are guided by special plant chemicals over several days. This animated cross-section of a plant stem shows exactly how that works. A chemical called auxin builds up on the dark, shaded side of the stem. The auxin causes those specific cells to stretch and grow longer. Because one side is longer, the whole stem is forced to bend toward the light. Without a central command processor, plants manipulate chemicals and water pressure. Through these slow and steady messages, they perfectly coordinate their growth to find sunlight and survive. We have looked at 3 distinct strategies: the lightning-fast electrical reflex of pulling away from heat, the full-body chemical rush of adrenaline, and the slow, sunlight-chasing growth of a plant stem. Despite vast differences in anatomy, every living organism faces the exact same challenge. They all rely on hidden internal networks to interpret their surroundings and physically respond. Whether it is a hand darting out to catch a falling glass or a seedling pushing its way through the soil to bloom, these actions are visible proof of nature's internal communication networks at work.